The whole description she does of the Portland hospital, the birth, that was completely fabricated.
The British monarchy was designed to outlive scandal. For centuries, the crown survived wars, betrayals, affairs, abdications, and public outrage through one brutal strategy: silence. Behind palace gates, problems were buried before they could threaten the institution. Narratives were managed, images were protected, and uncomfortable questions rarely escaped into public view. But according to some royal commentators, something very different is happening now.
She never intended to go to the Portland hospital. She intended to have the baby at home. We know that they deceived the public about the birth date and time of the whole event. So, and also, you know, even it goes down to the lawyer saying that in that statement, when they had that long attack on the Mail, which is astonishing, that Meghan, we know she lied in her statement.
Because this isn't just another tabloid controversy. This is a legal pressure cooker slowly building around Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, and some believe the danger no longer comes from gossip websites or angry headlines. The danger now comes from investigators, courtrooms, sworn testimony, and discovery laws that could potentially drag private royal matters into public scrutiny.
She poses a challenge to the royal family, and she's a fascinating person. I mean, she's a person who started from nothing and has become a world global star, and that route to the top has never really been properly reported and examined and investigated.
And according to online observers, the cracks are beginning to show. Over the past year, internet discussions surrounding the Sussexes have moved far beyond celebrity drama. What began as speculation on social media allegedly evolved into something much larger. A growing obsession with inconsistencies, secrecy, official wording, and the fear that hidden details could eventually become part of a courtroom battle. At the center of that storm are two names that reportedly make palace officials deeply uncomfortable: Lady Colin Campbell and Tom Bower.
Samantha only called herself Markle when Meghan was engaged to Harry, which Samantha says is a total lie. Interestingly, Samantha also says that Meghan's story about having a Ford Explorer where she could only get in through the boot was also untrue. She goes through a whole load of Meghan's lies. So by July, that is what the judge has said, these depositions, this cross-examination of Meghan will take place for the trial to start in October. So Meghan really has a problem, because until today, her lawyers have been saying this is so ridiculous, we refuse to even engage with Samantha Markle.
Lady C has long presented herself as someone who understands how aristocratic systems protect themselves. According to royal insiders, she speaks less like a commentator and more like someone who has spent decades studying the machinery of power behind closed doors. Recently, her rhetoric became even more aggressive when she publicly challenged Prince Harry with 4 explosive words: "Let him sue me." According to legal analysts, that statement wasn't simply confidence, it was a calculated provocation.
On Bower, where he doesn't go there. But he does go there as far as the fact that they wanted to keep the birth private and all the secrecy around that, and even the fact
because some observers believe Lady C understands that a lawsuit could become catastrophic for the Sussex brand. Not because of headlines, but because of discovery. In a courtroom, both sides can demand records, communications, timelines, and sworn testimony. And critics argue that once discovery begins, control of the narrative disappears completely. That's what makes the situation so dangerous. For years, Harry and Meghan have relied on carefully managed storytelling through interviews, documentaries, podcasts, and memoirs.
Radar Online, in fairness, they do quote you and say royal author Lady Colin Campbell recently challenged the conspiracy of silence and misinformation surrounding both topics.
Supporters see this as finally reclaiming their truth from hostile media institutions. Skeptics, however, argue that the couple built a highly controlled public image that becomes vulnerable the moment lawyers start asking detailed questions under oath.
What we're really now seeing is that both of them, having posed as the victim for so long, are really the aggressor.
And that's where Tom Bower enters the picture. According to media commentators, Bower has developed a reputation for dismantling celebrity narratives piece by piece through interviews, documentation, and contradiction analysis. His critics call him obsessive. His supporters call him relentless. Either way, Many believe he has spent years digging into the Sussex story in ways few journalists have attempted publicly.
These people who don't want to be written about, on the whole, whose lives are shrouded in mystery, and they want to hide their secrets, and I just love digging away to find out what they don't want us to know. I wrote 4 years ago a book about Prince Charles, and it was a story about how he had rehabilitated himself after Diana's death, and how Camilla also had to be rehabilitated. And it was a #1. It was a fascinating story. So when Meghan came along into the scene, I just thought, this is fascinating. How is this going to play out? To tell the truth, I spoke to very few friends of Meghan because she put a fatwa on anyone talking to me who she could. So I sent off dozens and dozens of emails to her friends, and most of them didn't even reply. And obviously I spoke to her father, who loves her still very much, and said, in the end, whatever she is, she's still my daughter. You can't beat the real story. I mean, that's the excitement of writing these sort of books, that in the end, nothing beats the truth.
Now, according to online investigators and royal watchers, attention has increasingly focused on one deeply controversial subject, the births of Archie and Lilibet. The issue centers around a phrase rooted in centuries of royal constitutional tradition, born of the body. While many modern audiences see the wording as outdated, some constitutional commentators argue that it remains symbolically important within discussions surrounding succession law. And according to critics, several unusual details surrounding the Sussex births triggered years of speculation. Internet observers began comparing official birth announcements to previous royal protocols. Questions emerged about missing doctor signatures. Others pointed to differences in public wording used by palace communications. Some royal commentators argued that standard procedures historically associated with royal births appeared noticeably absent. None of this proved wrongdoing, but according to analysts, the lack of clarity created a vacuum that online speculation quickly filled. Then came the viral footage, videos replayed endlessly across social media platforms. Every public appearance became a battlefield online. Videos were slowed down, zoomed in, and dissected frame by frame as internet sleuths analyzed body language, posture shifts, pregnancy visuals, and moments they claimed felt inconsistent. Anonymous bloggers, retired nurses, and self-styled investigators fueled the controversy, while Meghan's supporters argued the obsession had crossed into harassment and conspiracy culture. But the rumors never disappeared. According to many observers, the silence only made everything worse. The palace stayed quiet, the Sussexes stayed quiet, and every unanswered question intensified public suspicion. Now, legal commentators believe the real danger may come from the courtroom, not the headlines. The Samantha Markle lawsuit has sparked fears over discovery and depositions. Legal process is far harsher than media interviews. Every statement becomes evidence, every contradiction can be challenged, every timeline can be examined under oath. Critics believe that's why Prince Harry has reportedly avoided direct courtroom battles, because once discovery begins, emotion disappears. The process becomes cold, forensic, and relentless. Some royal insiders believe Buckingham Palace understands that risk all too well. King Charles has remained noticeably distant, leading many to suspect the monarchy is trying to contain the fallout before it reaches the institution itself.